Types of interviews.
There are many types of interviews that employers may conduct, including the face-to-face interviews, group interviews, phone interviews, HR interviews, and even interviews held during a meal. Review the different types of interviews along with tips on how to interview effectively regardless of the situation you are in.
Telephonic interview. Organizations go for telephonic interviews as a screening test for those who live far from the job site. The time of the interview is usually intimated well in advance to the candidate. The candidate must be prepared for the interview. He or she should take measures to avoid all the distractions that may happen during the conversation. He or she should listen to the questions very carefully. One should be aware of one's voice modulation. The candidate must keep a pen, paper, and a copy of his or her resume during the interview, as questions related to resume could be asked, and at times important things like addresses and names are required to be noted down. The candidate must note the things asked by the organization and the facts told by him or her to the organization.
You never know what you will be asked on an interview. The following phone interview question list will help you prepare. You need to be able to answer all the questions truthfully and professionally. Here are the tough interview questions and answers.
Why have you applied for this job?
I am interested in new challenges and an opportunity to use my technical skills and experience in a different capacity than I have in the past.
What is your current position in the company?
I am working as a senior project leader since 3 years.
What are your salary expectations?
I am currently making $1,000 per month, but I feel this is low compared to others with my background. Going forward, I will be looking for annual compensation more.
Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you for giving me the golden opportunity to ask questions. Can you please say that? What are the things I have to improve myself to succeed in this organization?
Face-to-face interview. The traditional one-on-one conversation with the interviewer can be taken as a screen test, or it can pertain to some competitive skills testing after the candidate has been shortlisted. The candidates must prepare themselves well before the interview. The candidate must maintain eye contact. He or she should not look distracted. The candidate must do some research about the organization and remember all the necessary facts. He or she must be aware of the current financial position of the company, product lines, and competitors of the company. The candidate should never forget to take the resume with him or her.
What do you know about our organization?
In my job search, I have investigated a number of companies. Yours is one of the few that interests me for these reasons.
Why should we hire you?
The requirements for this job fit squarely with my abilities and qualifications.
How long would you expect to work for us if hired?
I would like it to be a long time, or as long as we both feel I'm doing a good job.
Panel interview. This type of interview consists of the candidate facing a panel of interviewers. Usually 3 to 10 members constitute the interview panel. The interview focuses on group management and presentation skills of the candidate. Government organizations practice this kind of interview for their recruitment. The candidate must try to influence others' point of view without passing judgments on them. The candidate should respect others and be cooperative. He or she should not exert pressure on anyone. The candidate should try to initiate the discussion. If not, he or she must try to conclude the dialogue. The candidate must take part actively in the conversation.
The time for discussion is approximately 20 minutes. During the discussion, the panel of judges quietly observe the performance and behavior of the candidates and makes his own assessment.
The topic is how to succeed in group discussions.
This should be interesting. A group discussion on group discussion? I suggest we should discuss the importance of a group discussion first. I mean, why have a group discussion at all?
I find this very strange. How can you have a group discussion on group discussion? We should be discussing some current topic to test our knowledge.
I agree that this is rather unusual. At the same time, our job is to conduct a meaningful discussion regardless of the topic. Bijoy has suggested we start with the importance of group discussion. Today, group discussion is a very important part of various selection procedures.
Group discussion is all about teamwork, that's all.
Management is all about working with people. I suppose group discussion is one way of establishing one's ability to work with others. How we are able to lead and be led.
At the most, a group discussion may give an idea about how a business meeting is held. Otherwise, it's only about sharing your knowledge with others.
Looks like you are very sure about your knowledge. Perhaps there is no need for a group or even a discussion.
We have some interesting points here: leadership and sharing knowledge. Perhaps a group discussion is a good tool to assess how well you are able to function within a group.
I want to.
I don't think any discussion is meaningful unless everyone has the same level of knowledge.
I want to say something. Excuse me if I am wrong. I am from a vernacular medium.
Don't waste our time talking about your background. This topic is group discussion. Talk about that.
Every subject has various angles. So, many heads can raise many ideas.
Also, too many cooks spoil the broth.
Yes, a group makes it possible to brainstorm any issues. Perhaps Daisy has something to add to this thought.
Thanks for giving me a chance. A group discussion is good for consensus. It is always better everybody agrees. Otherwise, only one person is there.
I think the correct word is consensus. Don't use a word unless you know what you're talking about.
Consensus is fine. But is it necessary that everyone should have the same viewpoint?
That is an interesting thought. Yes, Daisy is right that a group discussion is about consensus. But there can still be differences. A group discussions provide an opportunity to discuss various aspects of an issue and weigh merits and demerits of different approaches.
Agree to disagree.
But the question is, how to succeed in group discussions? I think the first prerequisite is patience. Some of us must learn to shut up and let others talk.
If everyone follows that, we'll only have silence and no discussion.
I suppose the point is to participate and give others also a chance to participate.
Please, can I speak?
Come on, you don't have to beg for permission to speak.
I said that because I thought someone might have wanted to speak before me. Anyway, is it not possible to only listen?
I don't know how the moderator will rate your profound silence.
But Daisy, no one can read your mind unless you speak. How do you contribute?
I think a group discussion is very much like a business meeting. Every participant may present an individual point of view, but the thinking about that point of view is collective.
I don't think you can compare a group discussion to a business meeting. In a meeting, there is usually a chairman whose job is to control the meeting.
A group discussion may not have a chairman, but I suppose one person usually emerges as a leader and guides the discussion.
I suppose someone fancies himself to be a leader. This is so boring.
Your time is up. Thank you, everyone. Ehsan shows leadership skills and the ability to hold a group together. He appears to have a good grasp of the subject, though on the whole the group discussion failed to do justice to the core subject of how to succeed. Bijoy also has some interesting ideas but is prone to being provoked easily. Charu is too sure and too full of herself to be able to contribute a group. Aditi is guilty of intolerance and rude interruptions. Danny needs to work on his language and his confidence, though he may have the right concepts.
HR interview is your chance to make a good impression on your potential employer and ultimately get your job. How you present yourself, what you wear, how you answer difficult questions, and your general attitude all play key roles in HR interviews. Being prepared is the best way to gain employment in today's competitive job market. Knowing relevant information about the company you're interviewing for, knowledge of the job and the industry job can make or break the interview. All interviews are not the same, and HR interviews are often a screening process that can earn you a follow-up selection interview within the company. If an individual passes the selection interview, he may be required to participate in a group interview for final analysis. The key to success in HR interviews is to be yourself while respecting your employer.
Why do you want to work at our company?
I have a desire to work for such a company, where I will be able to explore my skill and develop new ones. At the same time, there will be a good working environment.
Why should I hire you?
Well ma'am, thanks to ask this question. I am not in the position to say that why you should reject others, but you should select me because I am in the learning spirit and your company can mold me as per its requirements, and I assure you that I will try to give my best all the time.
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
My strengths are, I am a good listener, flexible, can easily adapt to new atmosphere, learn new things very quickly, and adjustable person. My weaknesses are, I don't get satisfied until the work is completely perfect.
Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself taking on new and exciting challenges in an enjoyable environment, and hopefully this will be with your company.
How much salary do you expect?
I expect salary, according to the industry norms, which is suitable for my qualification and experience.
మా వీడియో గనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి. ఇలాంటి మరిన్ని వీడియోస్ కోసం మా ఛానల్ని సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోవడం మాత్రం మర్చిపోకండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ వాచింగ్.